On this video, I'm going to attempt to put to death the Christian rapper versus rapper that's Christian debate, tie it all in with one Bible verse, and give you 5 signs that you might be a Christian rapper. Here's the takeaway. Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Ruslan. I am a hip-hop artist, creative entrepreneur. Super pumped to be partnering with my man Chad on Rapzilla to bring you these takeaways. Now, recently, I had a video that I shared on my Twitter page from an interview I did with track stars, sharing my personal position of this whole Christian rapper that's Christian, which is a very age-old debate in the Christian hip-hop community. I'm honestly tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of talking about it. But for the sake of some of these things that have came out recently, I thought it'd be fun to discuss this topic and hopefully add some value, bring some context, and tie it all together with the hope that maybe we could put this whole thing behind us. Now, just to start out, this video is not a response to any one particular person, and this isn't even a follow-up to Rapzilla's response to Aha Gazelle. I tend to be a fan. I think he had some really good stuff to say. But with that said, let's move on. Now, to get started, I first want to provide context by sharing a non-Christian's position on the Christian rapper versus Christian. Now, a couple years ago at South by Southwest, Murs actually went in depth on this whole topic of Christian rapper versus rapper that's Christian. Murs is a personal friend of mine, and he even reveals some of the conflict I've had with him about this specific title. Murs is also a close friend of D1s, of Propaganda, of guys from the TDE movement, and many more in the West Coast hip-hop community and the national hip-hop community. He's responsible for putting on the Pay Dues Festival, which brought a lot of people together from all different walks of life, and he's currently on Strange Music. So let's flash back and hear some of his thoughts about being a Christian rapper and some of the tough things that, frankly, I just don't want to say in this video.
It's hard for me now. I have so much conflict with Christian rappers when they say, I don't want to be labeled a Christian rapper. I'm like, why not? You know? Why wouldn't you? All you're going to do is be glorifying your God and making a boatload of money. Like, what's the problem? I don't get it when these guys are like, I'm not a Christian rapper. Yes, you are. And Eazy-E's a gangster rapper. And because he was a gangster rapper, like, they weren't ashamed to say they were gangster rap. Why are you ashamed? And so then I'm like, okay, well, why are you ashamed of your father's name? Like, be not lukewarm or whatever the saying is from the Bible. Like, what are you doing? Like, that to me, I'm like, I don't get it, man. It doesn't matter. I was like, and as long as you're letting Toby Mac be the only Christian rapper, then yes, Christian rap is corny and it's whack. But I remember a time when Christian rap was dope because Idol King was dope, Gospel Gangsters were dope, Soldiers for Christ was dope, 12 Tribe was dope, and they could hold the stage with anyone, and that's what gave me my respect for Christian rap. And the fact that they're not upholding that banner, I feel like I know more about old school Christian rap than so, and that's why they think Christian rap is whack, because they think DC Talk was the only Christian rap. But I was raised in the church and forced to listen to a lot of stuff, and it was good. I see what happens when you're lukewarm. And this new generation is still new, so they may not see it. Some of my homeboys are on serious drugs right now because we're not Christian rap. The title Christian rap is not going to stop you from success. If that's what's hindering your success, bro, it's your music. I feel like a strong, dope Christian rapper can help so many people because there's kids coming in, they're lost. And if you make great music, people are going to come. When the wine is made, it's time to make good change, and Teddy Riley produced it, it was on the radio. And it was the Winans, and everyone in the black community knew it was the Winans. But it was played on black regular mainstream radio because it was a great record produced by it. On the retreat, my friend gave me a book called Radical. And it's about, like, you can't be lukewarm. It's about, if you don't believe this, you are going to hell. And you really got to believe if you're in your mind. That's what the Bible says, But you can't. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I don't know what the scripture is. Like, if you deny me, then I'll deny you before my Father. Like, to me, I don't understand. If you say you're not a Christian rapper, and maybe they're more.
I'll link that interview below. You could watch it for yourself. I don't necessarily stand by his motives, but me and him have had this conversation multiple times offline. And I think he has a very nuanced perspective of someone that's been a fan of Christian hip hop, a fan of Christian rappers, but is not a Christian or a Christian artist himself. Now, as some of you guys know me, been a part of collectives like The Breaks, Dream Junkies. I run an independent boutique label called King's Dream Entertainment. I've never been one to embrace the label of Christian rapper. I think it could be limiting because most of the shows that I'm doing are non-Christian colleges, are secular events, general market events. And if I were to brand myself as a Christian hip hop artist, as a Christian rapper, if I were to put that in my bio, if I were to put that on my website, that would directly limit my ability to go out and to perform, to build a business, and to ultimately contextualize the gospel through hip hop music and through my lifestyle as an artist and as an entertainer. So therefore, I do believe the label is limiting and could limit a lot of people. I think there's been a lot of negative stigmas attached to the label that some of us aren't really excited to embrace. But I also think Murs makes a lot of good points, man, about there was once a time where Christian hip hop, at least on the West Coast, was dope and it was respected, and guys were in the open mics and in the general community holding it down. And I think there's something there that maybe we've gotten a little bit away from. Here's my position. Here's where I'm currently at. And my hope is to tie all of this together with one Bible verse for you guys. And the verse is in Acts 11:26. And it says that the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. Now here's something that's very interesting about this passage. They were called Christians in Antioch. Christian initially was a derogatory term. It was not a positive term. It was not associated with a socio-political status. It was not associated with class. It was actually a low term, something that was used to patronize them, to make fun of them, to oppress them in many different ways. And it was seeing their behavior and how they acted and associating it with Jesus's oftentimes odd and peculiar behavior while he was on this earth. And so they were called Christians. They were attacked for being Christians. It wasn't something to be embraced. In a similar fashion, which many of us would say that the label of Christian rapper hasn't always been associated with excellence and cultural relevance and being engaged and being great as an MC. But they never denied the title of Christian. They never denied that they were imitating Jesus in their lifestyle. And in the same way, if someone today sees me and sees the way I treat my wife and calls me a Christian husband, or calls me a Christian father, or a Christian friend, or a Christian businessman, I will not deny that title. That's actually a form of endearment. That means they've seen something in my life. They've seen something that I've done. They've seen my behavior, my speech, the way I treat people, and they're saying they see Christian in that. They see Jesus in that. And so I will not deny the title of Christian rapper if a non-Christian sees that in me and sees my content, sees my heart, sees the way I speak to people, sees the message of my music, and wants to call me a Christian rapper. Why run from that? Why deny that? The disciples were called Christians in a derogatory sense, and sometimes Christian rappers used in a derogatory sense, but I haven't found it to limit my reach and my audience. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest rapper, I'm the greatest Christian, but I've been able to go out and perform in front of general markets. I've been able to go out and tour, throw my own tours. I've been able to consistently put out music, and I've been able to tap into different micro tribes to build my own tribe of Christians and non-Christians. And my non-Christian fans all know that I'm a Christian. Whether they call me a Christian rapper or not is semantics. And I want to encourage you guys, man, lay off. Stop tripping on if Reach Records wants to be Christian rappers or not, or Christian hip hop. Lecrae's last album was a Bible verse. All things work together, Romans. All things work together for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. He's explicitly Christian in all of his music. He's clearly, unapologetically about his faith. Whether he decides to brand himself as a Christian rapper is neither here nor there, and that shouldn't even be something that we're discussing. Now, the flip side of this is that we shouldn't be going into the Christian hip hop community, building an audience in the Christian hip hop community, building a platform, and then at a certain point deciding to switch it up. That makes no sense. And again, this isn't about where your audience is. This isn't about who you're trying to reach. This is just a simple matter of tact. If you've been embraced by a community, don't turn around and disgrace that community and say something negative about that community. A practical example is Jet Trouble. He did an interview with Wado and he said, man, Christian hip hop is something that's embraced me and I appreciate the community. Jet Trouble is not even a hip hop artist, if we're gonna be technical. Jet Trouble is on an alternative rock pop tip, and he has a little bit of hip hop, and there's some 808s in there and some auto-tune, but he's not even a hip hop artist, and Christian hip hop's embraced him. And notice that he didn't poop on Christian hip hop. He didn't say, oh, I'm not a Christian rapper, I'm not a Christian hip hop artist. He just said, man, community embraced me, I appreciate them. And I think that's the route we should go instead of constantly trying to run from the label or hide from the label. The disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. And if you are called a Christian rapper, that's not the worst title in the world. In my Trackstars interview, I said there's a difference between outgrowing a micro tribe, outgrowing a genre, a subgenre, and running from the micro tribe and running from the subgenre. Lecrae clearly outgrew the bubble or the micro tribe or the subgenre that is Christian hip hop. He grew beyond it. We should celebrate that. We should be proud of that. We should be excited about that. He went and he built the core here, and it just got big enough where he was able to go mainstream. That's fantastic. There's other artists that go into a whole nother space and never send their music to Rapzilla and never get on the Christian blogs. I'll give you guys 2 examples. An artist named JB out of Oklahoma City. I've been to church with this dude. This is a homie of mine. His music isn't necessarily Christian hip hop. I don't think he's ever been on Rapzilla. I don't think he's ever attempted to be on Rapzilla. He doesn't play churches. And if you go to Oklahoma though, JB is the man. JB is the king of the city. He holds it down. He teaches at some of the local colleges about hip hop. I think that's fantastic. Another example is Curtis King. Curtis King is a Christian. Curtis King goes to church. Good dude, one of my friends. Curtis King has intentionally not went into the Christian hip hop space, and he's never sent anything to Rapzilla. He's intentionally built himself a YouTube audience outside of the Christian hip hop community, and he doesn't follow the rules of the Christian hip hop community, and he's never been a part of it. But both of these brothers are very embracing of what I do. They're very embracing of the community as a whole. Curtis King has came out and seen me open up for guys like Tadashi and play shows with Social Club. And he's just like a super supportive, genuine dude. Check him out on YouTube if you haven't. He does a lot of really cool stuff for rappers and producers. And those are examples of 2 dudes that are clearly not a part of Christian hip hop. They're Christians, but they're not sitting here taking shots at Christian hip hop. They're not sitting here saying derogatory things. It's just not something they think about. And they still have relationships. I've brought them out to my open mics before, and we've done shows together. But they're not a part of that. They're not a part of that community. Doesn't mean they're not Christians. Doesn't mean anything like that. They're the homies. You know what I mean? They go to church. I love those brothers. And that's a great example of how you can maneuver if you don't want to be a part of the community. But this back and forth, in and out, building a platform, building an income, and then saying, oh, it's whack and it's dead. All those things, not cool, man. If you're not about being a Christian rapper, then stop talking about not being about a Christian rapper. Now, on that note, I'm gonna give you guys 5 signs that you may be a Christian rapper. This is just to end it off light, have some fun with it. Number 1, if you're watching this on Rapzilla's YouTube or Facebook page, which is a Christian rapper blog, and you yourselves are a rapper, you just might be a Christian rapper. The second is, if you constantly find yourself having to explain to your friends and your family and your audience how you're not a Christian rapper, well, you just might be a Christian rapper. Number 3, if all of your related artists on Spotify are Christian rappers, you just might be a Christian rapper. Number 4, if whenever you say a curse word on social media, your audience and following instantly rebukes you in the name of Jesus, you just might be a Christian rapper. And the last one, if you've ever been disappointed or discouraged or frustrated because Rapzilla, Trackstars, DJ Wado hasn't posted your song or added you to their playlist, you just might be a Christian rapper. If you don't want to be a part of the Christian hip hop community, stop talking about the Christian hip hop community. Stop taking shots at the Christian rappers. I'm just tired of having this conversation. And my position is, man, I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I love my family. I make hip hop music, and I make music for everybody. If that makes me a Christian rapper or a rapper that's Christian, that's really up to the audience to decide. Now, on that note, shout out to Rapzilla, and make sure you go check out their God Flow playlist. They changed it from the Christian rap playlist to the God Flow playlist. I appreciate that, Rapzilla. So thank you for watching this video. Once again, my name is Ruslan. Make sure to give a like, thumbs up, share this video with somebody that may need to see it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let's put this whole Christian rapper versus Christian debate to bed by going in the comment section and talking some more about it.
I am so incognito. Far away from him. Incognito. Came in one way. Incognito. Not leaving the same. With the top down. Waiting for the countdown. All grace, no wishes. No loans, no interest. Feels good. Tony. Yeah.
said welcome on the map, but they ain't wanna let us in, and so we came through the back. Look, oh man, Lord bless you with the bands. Hoping he gon' bless you with the 10. No win, but he ain't about to land. Floating on the black Peter Pan. I do not need your love. My king made me bolder. Like backwards, like Yoda. We out this world, we sold up.
I am so incognito. Far away from him. Incognito. Came in one way. Incognito. Not leaving the same.